Hey guys, it is Testimony Tuesday. Do you know what these are? These are not Mickey Mouse ears. These are called air brake diaphragms. They are very, very important to our Ford travel. So I cannot wait for you to hear this amazing testimony of God's awesome favor on us for this coach in the next coming season. Check this out. We needed to get the air brakes fixed. You know, I have no idea how much this is gonna cost. I just know one thing about this RV. It is built really well, which means everything is expensive on it. And so we just kind of gulp and we say, okay, you guys remember how much we spent on tires this year? 4 of them? $2,000. So it's a good quality machine. We love it, but you have to take care of these things. So I was just kind of bracing myself for possibly like Cummins, you know, dealership type prices on labor, which is like $260 an hour. And I have no idea how many hours it's going to take to fix these. Not to mention that there's really not much wrong with them. There was just a small thing wrong that only I could tell. All the system checks were coming out.
It was a slow leak. But when your whole system and your braking system, it runs on air and you have a slow leak, that can quickly become like a problem. And we wanted to give them this RV in the shape that we would want to carry our family in safety. Right. And so we prayed. And we did. We prayed. We began writing down some of these things that we were like, God, these are the things that we need to get fixed, things that we needed to make sure were in order, and we just began to pray about it. Just about the prayer that we were praying, like sometimes you need to be very, very specific about your prayers, and in this specific instance I had been praying 3 specific things. Oh yeah. I had been praying it for days, and I was praying it while he was at the shop. I was at the library with the boys, but I was praying, God, we need this to be cheap, we need this to be quick, and we need the parts to be available, because those are often the things that you don't get in a shop. And usually it's not cheap, it's not available, and it takes you weeks to get the parts in.
And I mean, unless you're at the Ford Travel Specialist, you know, it is a little more uncommon to see things like that. So this is what's really cool. We ended up talking to some of the guys in the Ford forums, which are the Ford Travel community, and they talk about them all the time, and they know everything about them. And I love these guys because they've been so helpful. And they sent a message to me, and they're like, hey, try this. Go to your local fire department and ask them where they get their air brakes serviced, rather than just calling an RV dealership. I'm like, sweet, I love that idea. Because our brake
system isn't common for RVs, it's more like a fire truck brake system.
Right, so I did that, tracked down where those guys go. I went to this truck repair shop where they get their fire department things fixed, and I talked to the guy, and he's like, you know, yeah, I think I can fix it for you. Let me take a look. We'll see what's going on. He got under the RV. The mechanic literally came out from under the RV after like maybe 2 minutes. And he's like, yeah, I can get this repaired for you. And he went to the boss and he said, well, how much are you going to charge him for labor? It was $110 for labor. And I was like, well, how much the part's going to cost? And he's like, it's an $8 part. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. How long is it going to take you to change that? Maybe 20 minutes. Yeah. Got under there, pulled it out, and as his boss was calling to get their part, like them to go drive to another shop to pick up the part, he comes out and he's like, he shows these are the air brake diaphragms. And you can see them. If you can see them here, they're a little kind of worn. He put his pen through it, and he's like, yeah, you got a hole in there. And he says to his boss, he's like, hey, Bob, these are like knockdowns into 24-inch or something like that. And the boss was like, oh, I think we got those in the back. Literally, 2 of these rear passenger and driver side air diaphragms, $8 a piece, $16, $110 on labor. And they were done with that thing in a half hour. Yep. And I'm like so blessed by the amazing power of God, because
we just laugh.
We were like, I was fully expecting like $500 to $700 for some something like this. You know, everything's expensive. So I mean, just really cool. So I mean, just such a piece about, you know, being able to have the coach in good working order. Wasn't that just such a cool thing to hear? I mean, if you open up your eyes a little bit, you'll just see how amazing God's works are, how much he works together good for those that he loves, and he loves you. He loves you so much. And so I'm just super grateful. To be honest, I've been holding on to this testimony for a little over a week now. We haven't been able to share it on the other vlogs. So I'm going to throw these things away now because we're all good. And I'm just super excited that God's doing some great things. So we also have another testimony to tell you about our coach regarding our oven. And so I want you to stay tuned. We'll share that pretty soon. And hey, if you like hearing these things, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you like hearing all this stuff. Support our journey on Patreon because we love seeing the work of God that he's doing, and we're so grateful to continue to do that. We get to do that because of your support and prayers, and we're so thankful for that. So we're gonna let you go today. So remember, we can make the world better. I believe we can. Bye guys.